Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends. I'm not sure if there's going to be a live YouTube stream yet. I'll give it a minute or so. Good luck, dude. Okay, thank you. Call me.
I'll text.
Thanks. So anyways, let's carry on then, because Spartan would have normally popped on. Okay, let's just do it. We're gonna do it unless he boots me out. How's that sound? We got a lot to unpackage today, obviously, out of China. We've got the Fed minutes, and the Fed minutes are important. And it should be fairly obvious as to why, because it gives us a little bit of an insight into really how hawkish they are in terms of rate hikes, number one, and what their concerns are, and if there's any wiggle wobble on the on that hawkishness that has been projected by Powell et al. It's going to be interesting. Now, don't forget, 2023, we have new members, and Citrini a while ago posted the chart of the new members, and they are more dovish than hawkish. Okay, so some of the really uber hawks don't vote anymore. So it's really disingenuous when you see these people just jabberwocking and just bloviating, and then they basically can't even vote. And I was like, seriously. All right, overnight, what happened? Japan, they continue to buy bonds, which is really a scary thought in and of itself, right? I think yesterday, anytime we're seeing these yanks on the 10-year, makes me think, inexplicably so, makes me think that could be the Japanese central bank continue to lighten up. We won't know for sure until we actually see the data, and unfortunately, it lags quite a bit in terms of seeing what the foreign direct investment on our treasuries are. Okay. Jabun?
Sorry, could you say that again?
How do you turn that off? Anyways, Jabun Bank, the manufacturing PMI, up slightly, better than expected. Okay, India out of India, PMI better than expected. I love India, and you know what? That's what I have to write down here. I forgot that. I've already started, for those of you who are interested, I've already started to post trades in the long-term swim portfolio. So, German import, look at this. Year over year, I mean, it's down a lot, but it's still double digits, right? This is really exciting stuff. So what we're seeing an abatement overseas. So what does that mean? Okay, what that really means is, and you know me, I've been discussing this ad nauseum. My 2023, my action plan is overseas investment. You know, and that's my action plan. And I think it, you know, continues to make sense that that's where money will travel to. Okay, just so you know. Okay, so EA, better than expected. UK, consumer credit increase, mortgage lending increase, so that's good. Mortgage approvals were down. And net lending, LMI Logistics Managers Index current. Okay, I have no idea about LMI. So up. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. The shots, the auction was 2.58. EU 3-month, 6-month bills. Wow, look at those. Much higher than expected. Well, much higher, I should say. And here you have the mortgage-backed rate, 6.58. This is still usurious based off of the more 30-year. Just so you know. I mean, and I reiterate this: if Congress is going to do their job, right, and do something important, this needs to be looked into. I don't care. This is the widest it's ever been. Okay, the gap between the 30-year mortgage and the 30-year bonds. It's the largest it has ever been. You're going to regulate, do that. We the people. Okay, we got ISM, we got JOLTS coming out, 10 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, we have that FOMC meetings. Okay, see what happens. Could be a fun one. Right, and then if you look down here, we get some all kinds of good stuff. We have non-farm payroll this week, yada, yada, yada. It's gonna be a fun one. All right, let's take a look. Did you know in December, on the earnings side, everything was above normal? Everything. Guidance was higher. Earnings per share was higher. Whisper surprise was higher. Revenue surprises by a lot was higher. So we really don't have anything exciting except Walgreens booths probably, right? And here we go. Next week, this is when we start, but this is when we really start. This week, right here, you got the banks, you got Netflix, you got Alcoa, you got, oh my goodness gracious, JB Hunt, P&G. So exciting. Just let's bring it on. Right? And you can see here, there's AEHR is reporting as well. We'll see. Not much expected, right? Oh, that's nice for visually impaired. I think stocks are ridiculously cheap if you believe that 3% on the 30-year bond makes sense. Warren Buffett may, yeah. He spoke the truth. I know, look, I mean, we understand what the most important thing in this market is. Well, two things, right? Labor, right, and inflation. I think the safest narrative, and I continue to say this, is overseas. That's my opinion. And I think that, look, you want to talk about Taiwan, there is no way, in my opinion, they're going to do anything with Taiwan until they right the ship domestically. And that's going to take a while, right? So Bobalicious doing the dishes, knocking out of the park there with the ant deal, and it's so exciting. Number one. Well, that's interesting. From Eli, from Lily, yeah. Okay, there you go. Good morning, Buffy. Be good. So, anyways, that's my story on that one. It's a work in progress, maneuvering this stuff. We're going to have we're going to have a rip your face off rally in this market. I don't know when. Okay. Well, that's what that is not uncommon, and it could be earnings driven, right? Yeah, I mean, we could see, instead of the fiasco everybody's expecting on the earnings side this quarter, maybe things are better than expected. Watch it, good. Okay, it's really moving nicely here. I wasn't long it. I was long it, but I wasn't long it. I didn't swing it overnight, so just keep an eye on it. Okay. Obviously cancer news, right? I don't know. I'm just, it was a lovely start to the year, right? So we'll see how that plays out. Now, what I want to see is this. Okay, the past month, right? Some fund flows. Earnings, positive earnings. This was value traps, right? Negative earnings, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So here's past week, they were buying energy, financials, discretionary healthcare, right? Past quarter, they sold discretionary, sold technology, sold utilities, about health. Look, I'm going to the dance with the person who took me. Okay, and last year I don't think it really changes. I still think healthcare overall. I think energy probably by the end of the month. We got to be closing to getting close to. Well, they say there's a new strain now, right? Strain of COVID. Yeah, well, we'll see. We shall see. Okay. Like I say, we had a great day yesterday. It was fun. Kind of easy peasy. We knocked it where we needed to knock it. And off we go. All right. So what do we got? So basically Thursday. So a little bit, and then next week we got a little bit more. Okay, so OPEC's December output rises by 120,000 barrels per day. Interesting, right? China's central bank, we will use various monetary possible tools in order to keep liquidity reasonably ample. Quantitative easing. We will take steps to lower financing costs for market entities. Quantitative easing. Right? Mortgage back, we got that, yada, yada. Japan's, I am not thinking of nuclear sharing. Okay. Electricity consumption fell by 4% in 2020, and electricity generation increased by 44%. Well, we are getting close on natty gas, but I mean, it has to reclaim. I'm not stepping in front of that little train until it reclaims some key pivot levels, right? Anyways. China vows to ensure stable prices in Spring Festival, late January. Energy prices stable. Okay, so JP Morgan, look, the reality is if China's going to grow at a 4.4% clip, you got to look at it, right? Anyways, let's go. All right, German import prices month over month. Nice, beneficial. Government bond curve now 1 month. CME lumber, this is where we have to look to. Okay, so one of the things that are notable and important when you see key lows in the market, one of them is the Dow transports. They tend to lead. I think, to be honest with you, we may see retail, stuff like that. I think semis definitely. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Lumber, housing, right? That's also. Well, we'll find out when they were right last time with this dude. Warren Buffett's $300 billion portfolio. Ouch. Stocks have historically been a leading indicator of the economy. I mean, the caveat is pricing, right? Now, the offset to that, and this is kind of, I'm just talking out loud, is if you look at the PE multiple of the S&P, et cetera, et cetera. We know the numbers. We know country the numbers. But what if, when it's all said and done, well, I actually believe this, when it's all said and done, the Fed is still quantitative easing because of the balance sheet, the size of the balance sheet. Don't forget, they've been quantitative easing with this balance sheet since 2008, just so you know. So, but don't forget, even though if they start to decrease their rate hikes, that doesn't mean they're not doing what they're doing with the balance sheet, which is tightening as well, right? I don't know. It's a you know, we live in wondrous times. Fourth day of unscheduled bond buying, liquidity, offered to buy an unlimited amounts of 2-year notes at a yield of 5-year debt. Wow, this is just, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I just don't know what to tell you. This is actually kind of interesting. Yeah. All right. Overseas Poland study analyst. He's basically, you know, gloom and doom. Fed minutes to reveal source of inflation, angst pushing up rates. That's what I'm saying. We really do have to pay attention to this Fed minutes. Oh, says U.S. recession is likely. Greenspan, hey dude, how you doing? So more than $1 trillion saved up during the pandemic. Yeah, well, they never, that was quantitative. They never should have had that trillion. Just saying they never should have had. Well, I shouldn't say that. They should have had some, but not that trillion, right? Recession pretty likely, Dudley says. Nobody's going out on the limb today, huh? Alibaba rally on Ant Capital, not. Twin, so what does, I mean, where do we price this Baba now, Babalicious? It's a lot higher than this with Ant. I mean, right? I mean, where would you price it now? In your head? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just, I'm just wondering. I mean, Bobalicious, I'm serious about this stuff. Forward PE multiple on Bobalicious is 1.49. Seriously, if you're gonna take a walk on the wild side, I know, just go out 2024, 2025 on Bobalicious. That's what I've done, and just let it go. I even have merch, calls on Bobalicious. Why not? I'm taking a walk on the wild side here, right? That's what I'm saying. Railing Golden Dragons. Okay, really nice. Okay. This is historic. The last time this has happened was 100 years ago. Now okay, so let me take a little bit of history here. Okay, so this happened 100 years ago, 100 years ago, okay? If you look at 1856, it went on for 3 months. Right now, the Democratic junior member has more votes than he has. And all it takes is because this is what happens when you have a dysfunctional party, number one, and you didn't do what you were supposed to do and basically kick ass in the elections. This is the dog and pony show we see going on right now. Now, it does matter. Okay, so why does this matter? Because number one, unless there is no speaker, ergo, the new Congress cannot be sworn in. All right, so number two, legislative wise, okay, the nuts and bolts of what has to be done from a speaker point of view, there is someone who is basically technically the step in, and that person was a Pelosi appointee. So until this gets resolved, you basically have a Pelosi appointee acting as speaker. But this also tells us the level of discord, okay, in terms of this party, and how that I would not be surprised if we see some. And why is this happening? I told you, because there's an extreme faction within the Republican Party that's holding it hostage right now. And I don't believe in extremes. I believe, for me, this is my opinion, but it's how do you get legislation done is the question, right? And we have to keep an eye on this, because this does have implications for the economy / market down the road. All right, that's why I'm going over this, because it is important. The checks and balances, the inability for the Congress to do what it has to do on a day-to-day basis is an important thing, okay? But it also historically is fascinating, right? Okay, what do we got? Abortion pill, whatever. Pentagon is wary of defense industry consolidation amid lagging arms production. College administration's chief mastermind, Rick Singer, faces sentencing, whatever. So the game class won't resume. Yeah, I don't know what, I mean, this is just. So, how I said statistically this would be 1% this would happen to? Guess what? Statistically, only 30 people, kids, a year this happens to. This is so rare. And the average age of this happening to is 15. And the only reason why he's alive, and I'm still shocked by that because I saw it happen. I mean, can you imagine the PTSD what's going through with these players? Okay, seeing someone who actually died in front of them, they had to be brought back to life multiple times. It's fascinating. And I don't know, I mean, there's going to be an issue here in terms of the emotional well-being of these players for a lot of players, actually. And I hope that look, the NFL, no matter what you say, there was staff on hand at all games, which you don't know about, who basically do the catastrophic stuff, are there for something like this, okay? Which basically a trauma team that you would find in a hospital, a high-level trauma hospital. Okay. Anyways, 9 minutes from beginning to end, they got him to the hospital. So I don't know. I just things like this. It's our humanity we have to talk about sometimes. Is tangling with his own sovereign. Oh boy. Quit making forever chemicals. Yeah. Well, 300 Microsoft Office. So Salesforce, I was really interesting. I mean, I'm in it and I can't believe it's working because yesterday I kept saying, why is it so big? I was saying, why is it so big? When a lot of these high beta names were just being taken down. I said, why is it so big? I do have a long position on it. And it's not mine. It's from the Planetary dude. I follow him. What he does. There we go. Mental health concerns facing the NFL. You got this. This was a everyday sort of event. I mean, anyways. Speak about again. This keeps going on until someone wins. Right? Russia blames troops' cell phone use for death. What? Seriously? Five sex again. Yeah, okay, whatever. Seeking Alpha, what do we got? Kathy, buy the dip. Okay, so Salesforce workforce by good. I mean, look, this is what has to happen. Now we know that these workers are not having any problem getting another job, right? We know that. Right? Well, yeah. Well, I don't know about our twins. I don't know about that. We'll see. I agree, but I don't know about that. I mean, this is so frustrating, right? Anyways. Microsoft is building a version of Bing that uses the tech behind chat. I don't know. Has nearly 30% upside. Daiwa says, okay, China will respond to look, why can you look? You did the same thing, China, so be quiet. Fair value. Oh, let's take a look. Let's see what their fair value is. Yeah, well, I'll move on anyways. Okay, so let's do it here. Nikkei Asia, let's see what's going on. PVs, US, China, tension, 5 things to watch, 20 from the CES. Okay, so we'll see this. So that's the Consumer Electronics Show, right? This is a big deal. We have to keep an eye on that, right? Takeover involving Japanese companies hit record high. Well, that's one way to take care of things, right? Maximum. Anyways, moving on. Reuters, let's see what they have to say. Yeah, everybody has to talk about this. This stings, no matter who you are, that would sting. Flow, let's take a peek. What we got with Flow? Okay, let's just look at expiration. We're looking at this now. All right, Apple 2025, 1,105s, 105s. Okay, this, 2 blocks went through on that. I mean, whatever. HLT, this was interesting. I mean, I shouted this out. This was kind of interesting, right? Billy, yeah, okay, good luck with that. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at Benzinga here. Insider buying. MSD, Sealy Mugs, I have no idea what that means. And then Sealy Mugs also. The rocket in the pocket? No. No. Yeah. Sales. Tied to options, a lot tied to options. Via Biotech, 1.1 million, 10% owner, trimming, right? We have got a lot of business going on today. 35. Okay, what do we got? Target, Wells Fargo, 81% stud, C.H. Robinson, SM Energy, Microsoft. Okay, this UBS dude, twins. But it's a raise of 4%. I mean, seriously, guys, this market is stupid. 73% stud. Seriously, stupid. They only see downgrades, stupid, but the price is higher. Come on. 250. Northern Trust. Fizz. Kimberly Clark. Let's take a look at some initiations for today, too. IDYA, interesting, 66%. Capital One, 71% stud. Zegba. Interesting. Right? Let's see the upgrades. Let's make sure this is for today. A lot of upgrades. SSYS, OI, BK, and Schwab, all 70+% studs. DCPH, well, see what, Merck, 59%. I can't get excited. All right. See if it'll update. Apple, play. My play is my play and play. No, nothing's going on there. And Tesla. You know the drill. All right. So the first day, red. Russell. This is slightly up. Well, it's hard to find red on that. Dow, red, first day. 100% of the time. Yeah, was it red yesterday? Yeah. Anyways, I love what we do. Okay. All right. High level of pessimism and energy. Like I say, I do have it hedged. That doesn't mean I'm not buying. Okay. Trading model that involves of aggregated put call ratio. Sentiment is reversing from a pessimistic extreme. Yeah, we know that. But what does it mean? Going back to 2014, that's not far enough. 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, bullish, 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 100%, 2 months out. Okay. So like I say, I'm BTFD, but I'm also hedged with drip. Okay. That's how I'm playing it. That's my story, sticking to it. Okay. If you don't know how to hedge, okay, you really have to be able to hedge when you follow me on these commodity stuffs. Okay. Worst year ever for chasing realities. Forever. Since 1928. Ever. Bada boom, 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 boom. S&P 500 next day return following a greater than 1% change. Okay, here you go. 1929. You got it, babe. S&P has suffered a lot. Big down days, we know. Bear market, come on. What are you talking about? It's been a terrible year to buy the dip. Here we go. After negative return, average return following a plus. I mean, isn't that? This is why it's, after less than 1%. This is crazy stuff. I love it. I love what we do. Don't you? China optics, a little overbought here. Okay. But, hey, is it in a bull market? No. It has to do a lot more. Chinese fund flows. Okay, so what do we have to see? This is what we're not seeing and we have to see. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, to give a little bit more cred to what we're seeing. Or I should say cred. We have to see institutions start doing their thing, buying FXI, K-Web, stuff like that. Okay, we'll see. Maybe Bobalicious, I don't know. We'll see. All right, so you can see your bonds, balance that'll be taken care of today. Yep. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. So. And this is the bonds, okay, bounce area, bounce area, bounce area, bounce area. So let's take a peek. Well, I have some time. Let's take a peek. You know what? I'm going to just skip right to, all right, let's take a look at the stocks. Everything's green, 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 except Russia. China A-shares are a little bit red. China. Nifty 50 is down. Nifty 50 is down, but Bank Nifty is up. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so I want to talk about China. I got to do it, right? So this is a Chinese small caps, okay? Hasn't broken out yet. 39.51. Right? So like I say, we still have work to be done. All right, so here's CQQQ, all right? So let's talk about this. I'm not in CQQQ, I'm in CWeb. Okay, but what's the pivot point right here? This pivot point right here is 4690. Okay, we're at 47. Big deal. Okay. The actual bear flag breakdown is up to here, right? So one step at a time, right? We take it one step at a time on this, right? So you can see that. Okay. QQQ, CQQQ. This is absolutely positively stunning. This trade is amazing. Round trip. Escalator up, elevator down. Look at this. Okay. Wow. FXI breaking the monthly downtrend line, friends. Monthly. Let's see if it holds because it's a monthly. But since June 2021, big deal, right? Don't you think? I think. A shares, well, I don't care about that. That's the financial. KWeb, okay. I'm in KWeb, longer dated stuff. It's about to break this pivot right here. It broke this monthly stuff. So this next pivot here, you can see. Right here. And then reversion to the mean. Irregardless, still a hell of a lot of work that needs to be done, right? But this is a distorted W on the monthly. We'll see how that plays out. Here's KWeb A shares. KWeb obviously kicking A shares ass. MCHI, I am not in this one, but keep an eye on it. MCHI, KWeb. So KWeb's still the one. Chicks. I love the name of Chicks. Who cannot say Chicks? I mean, seriously. Is that not fantastic? Chicks. Chick. Anyways, it's doing well too. So we're seeing on a monthly basis positivity, right? Look, if you're going to do technicals, right, as your guiding force, okay. Twins and I shouted this trade out down here. We shouted the China trade out months ago, and he and I both put our money where our mouth is on this one. Okay. I'm just saying it really is, and you have to have, as far as I'm concerned, a conviction in your analysis. It's always about risk reward. What did I pound the table? What should you be doing? I said, good golly, Miss Molly, sell Baba puts. That's what I said. Go out 6 months, sell Baba puts. That's what, in my opinion, was a really easy trade. Easy peasy trade. Okay. Right. Anyways. Now it's hard because you have to wait. You have to wait for a pivot breakout, or you have to wait for a pullback and support hold. So this is why it makes it really complicated. That's why I can't post anything for in the new long-term. I was going to do it yesterday and it totally slipped my mind, but nothing I can do about that. FXI chicks. Okay, so FXI is starting to regain. EEM, this is actually, believe it or not, emerging markets, but you know what? It's basically China. Yen, this is my go-to, darling. My booby. I love yen. Okay. We had a mini breakdown right now. We have basically, it has to get up to, well, for all intents and purposes, the bear flag break, right, is right here. So let's just use this, okay? And that comes in, guess what? I mean, we're at 55.67, and this low is 56. Okay. Now, don't forget, because this is leverage, it was also reverse split. So don't forget about that. Okay. Bobalicious. Slow and steady wins the race. Oh, okay. So Bobalicious monthly, we know we'd had the break, broke the downtrend line, right? A couple months ago. Now it's just slow and steady, going. To me, things really don't get interesting. I mean, look, this has been going, and I'll be
All right, Beth,
honest.
I'm ready to pop on whatever here. Alrighty, guys, morning. What's going on? If you guys are new to the YouTube stream, thanks for popping in this morning. Can give you guys a little bit of a breakdown of how we're gonna get going. Obviously, Beth just broke down some of the macros for you, some of the bigger picture ETF items. I'm gonna come on. We're gonna go through the individual names I'm looking at that are gapping up, gapping down. Go through the SPY, the FANG, the other individual names that I'm looking at from a technical standpoint, as well as IWM, QQQ, SPX, VIX. And then Selpeach will come on, go through some of the analyst calls and macro and individual names that he's looking at for today. So let's get going right here, guys. So what are we looking at today, this morning? A couple different things. And for those that are new to chat, make sure to click the Discord link to pop into chat and then go through that new to chat information section after you've read the disclaimer there. We'll take a look at that in a little bit once we do close down that YouTube stream later on, okay? But anyways, let's go through some of these individual names that we're looking at today, guys. So pre-market tickers on watch, a couple different things. Tesla, ASML, Baidu, Baba, Vera, and AMV. Those are the names we're looking at the moment. So most things are just gapping in sympathy with the market or gapping in sympathy with each other, which is these Chinese names. But Tesla gapping up sympathy with the market, ASML gapping up sympathy with the market, Baidu, Alibaba, other Chinese ADRs, surge as Ant Group capital plan approval fuels hope for relaxed scrutiny. We got Baba gapping up on that as well. Vera Therapeutics shares plunge after mixed data from one of its rare kidney disease studies. And then lastly, AMV, which is gapping up on retail volumes. So some again are these names from a technical standpoint intraday. The first two names that we're going to be looking at today, guys, going to be that Tesla, going to be that ASML. So let's have a look at those two first. The Tesla slight gap up, nothing major, obviously. Let's take a look at these names. This name right here goes to the technicals. All righty. Get a couple of ranges. So you get that support. Okay, that should be good. So let's take a look at this Tesla intraday here. Unfortunately, got a misprint candle right there, which is going to be a little bit annoying. I'm going to flip it over to a daily chart just because it's a little bit difficult to look at with that type of misprint candle. So pivot to the upside today is going to be 110.66 for me. This level is able to hold. We got room towards 113.48 to 117.84. Unable to hold, I'll be looking for a pullback towards 105.87 to 101.64. Below that, room towards 95.87 on the downside. Overall on Tesla, going to be leaning bearish neutral. Looking for a retest of the pivot this morning, rejection and continuation lower, in my opinion. So that's what I'll be looking for on Tesla. Let's take a look at this ASML. 570 a share. Ooh, I like that chart. Coming up off the lows, trying to reclaim EMA support. I think it looks pretty good. Some of those EMA supports there. $568 pivot to the upside today. Levels able to hold 578.33 to the 584.45 will be tested. Unable to hold 561.49 to 552.06 on the downside. Overall on this ASML, going to be leading bullish, looking for a continuation push to the upside today if that pivot point is able to hold. So that's Tesla, that is ASML. Let's take a look at the next two guys, Baidu and Baba. Baidu, nice little range break off of the recent range test here. So the upside does look good. Nice continuation from yesterday as well. 124.21 pivot to the upside today, in my opinion. Levels able to hold 127.61 to 130.76. Unable to hold 121.66 to the 117.74 on the downside will be tested. It is extended on the daily. I'll be looking for a pop out the gate and then a little bit of a pullback in the afternoon, pretty much like the last day's move, in my opinion. I think that's what we can expect on it. I might want to fill that gap, but we'll see, of course, how much momentum it gets out the gate. Baba, I'm going to be leaning the exact same way. So you do have that range break right there, 95 level. 774 distance here. Let's take a look at the signature today. All right, 97.71 pivot to the upside today, level holds 101.12 will be tested. Unable to hold 95.08 to the 92.71 are the support levels that I got, in my opinion, on the downside. Above that, 101.14 level, 103.20 is the next above that, and then 106.48, just an FYI, because I can see it there. Zoomed out. So 103.20 is above 101.12 as the next resistance. That's what I got on the daily. So overall, going to be leaning bullish neutral on this name, looking for continuation push higher, in my opinion, if that pivot point is able to hold. So that is Baidu, that is Baba. All right, let's take a look at the next two names, guys, which is Vera and AMB. So Vera gapping down there, 7 points on their kidney disease study. Obviously bad results, right? Let's see where we got room to today. I'm gonna have to do some fibs on this, I believe, to the downside. Yes. See this we got enough levels intraday here. I think we are pretty close. Okay, 784 pivot to the downside today, levels unable to hold 685, 569. Able to hold, we look for a room back into the 956 to the 1078, in my opinion. I'm going to be leaning on the bearish neutral side of this Vera right now. Just looking at the Looks like 388 book value per share, 412 on cash per share. Still has some more room for continuation lower, in my opinion. So I'll be leaning bearish neutral, in my opinion, looking for continuation lower as long as that pivot's unable to hold. Let's take a look at this AMV. So this thing's just gapped up on retail volume today. So we get some EMA resistance levels. So AMV 458 pivot to the upside today, levels able to hold 551 to 685, unable to hold. We look for a pullback towards 372 to 299 on the downside. Overall on AMV, going to be leaning on the bullish neutral side today, looking for a continuation push higher if that pivot point can hold, in my opinion. So I'll be leaning on the bullish neutral side of the gate, at least on that name. So that's Vera, that is AMV. Let's take a look at the SPY and the FANG. All right, SPY. So SPY guys, pivot to the upside today. And let me just show you the daily chart actually. Let's do this. It's always useful to view the dailies alongside these. All right, 383.89 pivot to the upside today. Levels able to hold 386.95 to 389.10. Unable to hold 380.56 to 378.04. On the downside will be tested. Basically bullshit consolidating here. It is holding that bear flag range, which I thought is pretty impressive, I guess. We'll see if it can push back towards the 50-minute. To me, that's where it wants to retest in the moment before it makes a decision whether it's going to break through or pull back further. So bullish consolidation right now, 383.89 pivot to the upside today, in my opinion. Level hold 386.75, 389.10, unable to hold 380.56, 378.04 on the downside. I'm leaning bullish control at the moment. In my opinion, looking for a little bit of a grind higher. So that is SPY. Let's take a look at Apple. So that Apple weakness, it just got absolutely puked to start the year. Very, very strong selling. We'll have to pay attention to this one today again. Pivot to the downside today, in my opinion, guys, will be 125.90. I was able to be reclaimed to get room back towards 128.70 and 130.17. Unable to hold, I have 124.15, which is last day's low, then 123.03 on the downside. Overall, on Apple, going to be leading on the bullish neutral side today. So, seeing if that pivot point can hold, and obviously get a little bit of a bounce. If that seller comes back into it, then watch out. It's going to pull the whole market with it, in my opinion. It was certainly leading to the downside yesterday. Over the gate. All right, let's take a look at Amazon. Place. So Amazon actually pretty decent relative strength yesterday. Trying to reclaim the EMA support on the daily. Pivots to the upside 87.08, levels able to hold. Moving towards 88.91, unable to hold 85.97 to the 84.23 level on the downside. Overall on Amazon, going to be leaning bullish neutral if that pivot point is able to hold. That is 87.08 is what we'll be looking at. That's Amazon, guys. Screenshot this. Let's go on to Netflix. Leaning bullish neutral, in my opinion, there. All right, Netflix. Pivot to the upside today. Going to be this level right here. 299.87 level holds 306.28 to 310.56. Unable to hold 290.98 on the downside. That level breaks. You're back into the 50 EMA area at 286. 76 area. That's fine. Overall on Netflix, like I said, going to be leaning more on the bullish neutral side as well. A little bit of a curl on the daily. I do like the chart actually quite a bit. Just going to be a matter of getting back above that pivot point for continuation. Netflix, let's take a look at Meta. So I do like the chart on Meta quite a bit. You're getting into this nice little gap area. 124.87 pivot level holds 130.84, unable to hold 121.70 to 118.79. On the downside, leaning bullish on Meta, looking for a continuation push to the upside today. Pretty clearly bullish today for continuation higher. 130 is kind of what I'm thinking for the week. We get to that area and then we'll see what happens, in my opinion. So I'm looking at on that. Let's take a look at Google. Google as well had some pretty good relative strength yesterday. Not as nice as Meta or Amazon, but certainly was notable. That EMA support right there. I pivot to the upside today, 90.32 levels able to hold, 91.66 will be tested. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback towards 88.39 to 87.19 on the downside. Overall, Google going to be leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today, if that pivot point is able to hold. All right, that's Google. Let's take a look at VIX Qs IWM. All right. VIX pivot to the upside today is going to be 22.53 levels able to hold, 23.51 unable to hold, 21.17 will be the next support on the downside I'll be looking at. Overall on the VIX, we're not going to lean in any particular direction, but looking for direction on the market using the VIX is typically what I'd like to do. Is the VIX a little extended to the upside on the daily into the 50 EMA? Yes. So that's, I think decent to note. Let's take a look at the Qs. QQQ guys, 266.84 pivot levels able to hold, 270.81 unable to hold, 262.09 on the downside will be tested. Overall on the QQQ going to be leading bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today if that pivot point is able to stay intact, in my opinion there. All right, let's take a look at the IWM. Actually, you know what, we're going to do the SPX. I don't think I care as much about the IWM as I do about the SPX, so rather have this chart up. As I said, I was going to substitute that for this year, and there you go. Okay. So there's this SPX levels. Pivot, I'm going to use the upside today, going to be this level. 383. 38.36 is what I should say. That's gonna be the pivot to the upside today. Level hold 3861 to 3887 will be tested. Unable to hold 3800 to 3764 is what I have on the downside, in my opinion. Gonna be on the bullish neutral side today. Higher lows. Let's see if we got a little bit of a balance continuation on it. And that is the SPX. So guys, if you are new to the YouTube stream, thanks for popping in. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to South Beach in just a second here. A couple of changes this year so far. We do have an SPX channel dedicated in the chat, which is awesome. It's been, I think really easy to navigate for the market. And then we also do have this long-term investments server. Definitely worth checking out, guys, on the website for long-term investment ideas that will be going through the entire year, 6 to 12 months out. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and pass over to South Beach, guys, and I'll talk to you shortly. South Beach, if you're ready, she's all yours for now.
Okay, hey guys. All right, let's see what's going on today. We're in a really kind of weird part of the market, the beginning of the year. Insofar as all, a lot of the positioning for year end is done, right? Of course. Tax law selling, all that jazz is over. All right. The Fed doesn't meet again till what? February 1st. So we have nothing from the Fed. We have some numbers, of course, but no Fed action. Earnings will probably start in earnest, maybe in a couple of weeks, right? Because the end of the quarter. And so we're going to have like a 2-week hiatus of really lack of corporate news. There's just not a whole lot of news-driven volatility, which is, it is what it is, okay? So we're in this kind of like vacuum for the moment where stocks can move in a big direction on nothing. So, it is what it is, but we've been used to like, one piece of news after another piece of news after another piece of news after another piece of news. And now we have this lull for a few weeks. So we'll see how stocks react to that, but not a lot of macro events in the next couple of weeks. And as far as corporate events, unless we have a big confession season. Now, confession season used to be very active, okay? Companies would warn a couple of weeks or right after the quarter, prior to their earnings, that they had an issue. We haven't seen a lot of that in the last couple of years for some reason. I don't know why. We'll see if that happens again. We had a couple of instances in it in Q4, or I should say in Q4 based on Q3 numbers. We'll see. Okay. So, we used to kind of get ready for confessional season thinking, okay, we got to be careful here because any news that comes out corporate wise would be negative. In this case, we haven't seen it. So we'll see how it goes this year. But as of late, that's not been the norm. Looking at the bond market today, yields are down substantially, almost 0.12 on the 10-year. So we're down to 367. All right. And you see a lot of things that are indicating things are slowing down, right? You see the oil market kind of soft. You see the gas market getting destroyed. And you see the 10-year yield coming from highs of like 420 down to 367. So a lot of things indicating that things are slowing down a bit. So anyway, that's the yield. The 2 years at 432. So that's down a little less. So that inversion will increase somewhat. What are we at? 33, 63, 66. So we got down to like 52 from 80, and now we're at 66, moving kind of back up a little bit. UK, I mean, I'm seeing things out of the UK just a really negative. And I was talking to my British buddies on the beach on Sunday, and things over there are just not good. Their yield is down to 354, down 11. But the yield curve is not so much that it's inverted, it's just flat as a pancake. All right, rates are down globally, Germany, Italy, you name it. Okay, so basically these yields are indicating that things are going to slow down somewhat, I guess, and that's what the bond market's telling us for now. Okay, let's look at commodities. So there you have oil, okay, down another 2.5% today. So following through from yesterday. And this natural gas is at $4, 406 to be exact. So it's gotten demolished. So it broke that 5 support, which we've been talking about, that huge range, 5 to 9.5. It broke that 5 support and went right down to 4. So that's gas. All right, there's been warm weather in Europe, yada, yada, like that. And that's having some effect. Gold has been fairly strong as of late. Okay, it's had like 3 or 4 days in a row of up movement. It's up again 1%. That coincides with a weak dollar, which we'll discuss. Silver's up again. Copper flat, trading range there. And as far as the agricultural commodities, they've been flat to down for a while now, trading pre-pandemic levels pretty much across the board, with the exception of maybe rice and a couple of other things. Lumber's gotten the crap kicked out of it. It's 363, which is pre-pandemic average pricing. So maybe even on the low side. After being at 1,500, that's quite an adjustment. Okay, let's see cotton. Cotton's also down. They were all basically on their lows, or trading in a band right at their lows. Okay, so that's that. And currency wise, you got the dollar down against North America. It's down against the yen. It's down against the Chinese currency now, 688. They're showing some fiscal responsibility there. That's probably aiding to their the support of their currency. Dollars down slightly against the euro, and against the pound also very slightly there too. Okay. Crypto wise, we've seen a little bit of a rally. Bitcoin's up almost 1%. Ethereum's up 3%. Solana's been rallying. It's up to 1340 after that puke. I think it was Sunday night. It got down to 8 and change. So it's up to 13 there. They're saying this is some new currency or crypto thing. I'm not really up on this stuff, guys, so I don't like to talk about it too much because I don't think I really know much, to be honest. Let's look at the foreign markets. So what do we have there? We have the FTSE up 0.5%. We have the DAX up almost 1.8%. Over in Asia, we have the Nikkei down 1.5%. China was flat and Hong Kong was up 3%. I guess a lot of which is based on BABA, but we'll see. And Taiwan down again, 24 points. Okay, so that's the backdrop. All right, what else do we have? We have the banks and the Fed. No Fed governor speaking today, but we have the Fed minutes today at 2 p.m. So that should be interesting. That might be a market moving event. So we'll see what that is all about. Okay, that's that. China. I have a bunch of stuff on China, so I'll push that aside for a moment, and I'll talk about it in a minute. Russia, what do you hear about Russia other than what's going on in Ukraine? They're talking about those soldiers being, attacked. They put their soldiers next to an ammunition depot, and things didn't work out too well. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to do that? And they're claiming that cell phones are what got them found. I mean, I don't think you needed a cell phone to figure out where the troops were, but that's what they're saying. Anyway, a lot of guys died in that. It was ugly. What can you say? All right, oil market. Yesterday was down. Today is down. Gas market is soft, and these stocks are coming in. Okay, do I think oil's going to stay down? Probably not. It's probably an opportunity, but it's hard to invest when the group is really soft. So that's up to you. But I've been trading them from the short side. I have no position coming in today, and we'll see how they act. I don't like trading these things on gaps. Okay, what has been historically the norm for the last year or so, whichever direction they open, they tend to. Especially when it's down, they tend to move a little higher as the day goes on. So I don't like to jump on. I'll just see how it happens. Yesterday was the exception. Okay, they opened lower and stayed lower all day. We'll see what happens today. Crypto, we discussed. The dollar, we discussed. Mr. Market. It's been a little on the soft. Yesterday was a little on the soft side. Today we're opening, it opened up and just got smashed. We'll see. I don't buy any gaps. That's my rule in this market. I think we're in a bear market, and the last thing I want to do is buy a gap up opening. All right. Yesterday gapped up. I shorted a few things, worked out pretty well. I'll probably do the same today. Okay. If I had to say groups I'm going to be looking at on the short side, probably miners would be the number one. As far as these other things are concerned, kind of like banks. I kind of like insurance. Maybe retail on the short side. So maybe those two groups. What's working? Well, certainly Tesla and Apple are working on the short side. That's for sure. This Tesla is just a complete mess for the moment. And the oil stocks have been working on the short side. Okay. That's kind of what's working best, especially Tesla. Okay. And that's what's that. Let's see. News. China is pausing massive investment in building up the semiconductor industry. They were going to invest a ton of dough, but they have, I think the COVID strains are, pushing that off to the side for a moment. And that's probably a positive, not probably, it's definitely a positive for the semiconductor group. So that's the kind of group that could really rally all day. We'll see how it goes. Morgan Stanley actually talked about Taiwan Semi as their favorite. They think it has 50% upside. So I thought that was interesting. So anyway, I think that's a pretty important piece of news that they're delaying this massive investment. I think it's also a problem to get fabs from ASML. So I think that's another issue. I think they call it what? Lithography equipment or something to that effect. CRM is cutting 10% of their workforce. Stock's up on that, acted okay yesterday. Hired too many, and this downturn is causing their customers to become more cautious. Look, there was a problem. The quarter is probably an issue. The question is, does the street overlook it? You had the second president of that company leave, and now they're laying people off, and I think they have to just resize that company and figure it out, obviously. But clearly now, when you get massive layoffs, the street is viewing that as positive. Okay. SBF pleaded not guilty. Excuse me. Blackstone is raising more money for that B REIT, $4 billion to kind of backstop people who want to leave the fund. They're raising it from, I think, one of the universities in California, and kind of sort of guaranteeing them some kind of rate. There's a new hedge fund starting by a woman, Mala Grunker, Sergo Capital. It's the biggest hedge fund ever launched by a woman, 1.8 billion. Kudos to her. PIMCO had 3.6 billion pulled out of their funds last year, with biggest downdraft for them ever. They talk about China risk in the paper today, ergo Tesla and Apple. Guys whose boat is tied to China are having issues. Okay, and there's no two companies probably tied to China more than Tesla and Apple, so they're paying the price at the moment. I don't think it's over for those guys as far as that's concerned. Let's see. Mortgage demand is down 13.2% for the month of December. You see what's happening with the House Democrats, House Republicans trying to elect a speaker. They had 3 votes yesterday. McCarthy failed all 3 times. If he doesn't get the nod today, it's over for him. And they have this guy, Jim Jordan, that they're mentioning might be a replacement. Initially, they blamed Republican conservatives for his lack of support. I don't know. But basically, he had 3 votes and couldn't muster the votes necessary to win, so they might just find somebody new. Let's see what else we got here. New York City apartment sales are down 29%. They're saying that the sellers and buyers just won't meet. Okay, the sellers are standing steadfast at their price, the buyers are steadfast in their price, and therefore sales are down drastically. Okay, we'll see how that works out. My guess is the sellers move down and hit the buyers' bids because carrying costs are probably pretty high. Fidelity had an investment in Twitter with Musk, and they wrote down that investment by 56%, which they're saying Twitter is worth less than half of what Musk paid for it. So another issue for Musk. Fed's Dudley, who used to be the head of the New York Fed, is saying that he's kind of saying that we're gonna be in a recession, but it won't be as bad as the financial crisis. Well, that's small comfort because financial crisis was a freaking mess. Excuse me. Individual stocks. Now, I was going to talk about what's it called today, Stanley Druckenmiller, but there's a bunch of research actually, and I think these guys are numbskulls, but there's so much research that I think is worth talking about that I'm probably going to postpone it till, I'm going to postpone it till tomorrow. Okay. As far as individual stocks, SGH and Perry had positive news. BABA, we know, had positive news. Ant Group is going to get raise some dough, I think $1 and change billion, and that stock is up on that. So I guess she had a good moment and he decided to go with that. Okay, that's been in the wings for, I don't know, 2 years, maybe more. GE spun off GE Health, so GE's not down that much. Okay, you got a new symbol, G. George Eddie Howard Charlie is the new symbol for GE Healthcare. And so that's that one. GERN had positive phase 3 data. BCYC had positive FDA data. CRM, I told you about. Patterson had negative news. And let me just, 25, 50 basis points, it's now 70-30. So the 50 keeps rising a little bit, but still at low levels. Let's get to that research that I thought was interesting, okay? We'll move right into that. Target was downgraded by, who was this? Wedbush, I think it says. My handwriting is so freaking bad. I can't even read it myself, which is weird. Wells Fargo, sorry guys. Basically, they're saying that outlook deteriorating meaningfully, no longer attractive investment, uncertain, negative traffic in Q4, et cetera, et cetera. So they've downgraded this pretty hard. They will lower the target from 170 to 142. The other big call is Microsoft out of UBS. They downgraded this one, okay, to, I think from a buy to a hold. Let me see. Yeah, buy to neutral. Target goes from 300 to 250. They're worried about Azure, which is their cloud offering. They think 25 times earnings, the stock's expensive to begin with. And now you have this issue, so they downgraded that one, and that stock's down 8 on that. A bunch of guys downgraded the CHRW to sell. You remember they kicked out the CEO yesterday and got a new one? And where there's smoke, there's fire generally. When they fire a CEO, it's not good news. So 2 guys went to a sell on CHRW. All right, I thought that was significant. Honeywell, buy to a sell at UBS. They're also high valuations and business is compressing. Okay, so that's another one. Fizz downgraded to sell at Jefferies. Sam downgraded to sell at Jefferies as well. This, what's it called? This hard seltzer business, which, I told you I thought it was a short at 1,300. Now they're saying it's a short at 275 or whatever the hell it is. Morgan Stanley, here's another big one. Okay, there was a lot of interesting research calls today. They downgraded this one, Wolf Research, from outperform to sell. Okay, target unchanged at 92. They're worried about margins. They're worried about peak income from cash on hand, from people's accounts and so on and so forth. So that was a big downgrade. Any others? Oh, Pfizer was downgraded also, but this is more like a pair trade, in my opinion, from Bank of America. They downgraded Pfizer and they like Merck. I thought that was interesting. They initiate Steel with a sell. They like Nucor. That makes sense to me. Steel's poorly run. Nucor is very well run. Let's see. Biohaven, JP Morgan likes that one. This New Street, I don't know if these guys are good, bad, or indifferent, but they like Amazon and Google as buys, and Meta as a buy, and Snap and Netflix as a neutral. Mizuno says the worst is over for PayPal. Stock was showing a lot of strength yesterday. That's really it. Okay, so let me just hand it to him. But there was a lot of good research calls. That's why I wanted to do that. And I'm going to pass it over to Spartan. I'm out of time, and let's make some money today, guys. All yours, buddy.
All righty, thank you, South Beach guys. Morning, what's going on? What is up? So if you guys are new chat, have already done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. Pop in chat, so it's something a little bit like this. And we'll go through that new to chat information section and the disclaimer section after we're done the YouTube stream here, guys. But definitely give them both a read over. Pre-market tickers on watch. What do we got going on today, guys? Everything's posted. If you guys are watching that YouTube stream, you can simply just pause it. And whoops, you can simply just pause it and give it a read here. But a couple different things that we're looking at today, guys. So let's have a look here. There we go. Tesla gapping up slightly in sympathy with the market. ASML gapping up slightly in sympathy with the market. Baidu, Alibaba, or other Chinese ADRs surge as Ant Group capital plan approval fuels hope for relaxing scrutiny on that. With the Chinese names, Bob is gapping up in sympathy with that as well. Vera Therapeutics shares plunge after mixed data from rare kidney disease study, and AMV gapping up on retail volume this morning. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. First two we're looking at today, guys, Tesla and ASML. So have a gander. Tesla, ASML. So I had Tesla on the daily chart just because it's easier to look at with that misprint candle, guys. So let's just look at it from that perspective. 110.66 pivot to the upside today. Level holds 113.48 to 117.84. Unable to hold 105.87 to 101.84 will be tested on the downside. Overall on the Tesla, going to be leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push to the upside today if that pivot point is able to hold. That is that. Let's take a look at ASML. ASML pivot to the upside today is going to be 568. Levels able to hold 578.33 to 584.45. Unable to hold 561.49 to 552.06 are going to be supports on the downside. Going to be leaning bullish neutral, in my opinion, on that. Looking for a continuation push to the upside today. So that's what I'll be looking for on ASML and Tesla. Baidu, 124.21 pivot to the upside today. Level holds 121, 127.61 to 130.76. Unable to hold 121.56 to 117.75. Will be tested on the downside overall on Baidu, leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push to the upside today, in my opinion, on that. Let's take a look at Baba. Pivot to the upside today on this one, in my opinion, guys, is going to be 67.71. Level holds 101.12. That level breaks. We have room for a continuation where it's 103.20. Unable to hold 95.08, 92.71 on the downside. Overall on Baba, leaning bullish neutral, looking for continuation push to the upside today, in my opinion, if that pivot point can hold. Let's take a look at Vera. Let's take a look at AMV. All right, guys, Vera, let's see what we got here. Pivot to the downside today, 784, unable to hold 685, 569, able to hold 956, 1078 on the upside. Overall on this name, in my opinion, guys, leaning bearish, looking for a continuation lower today. I think it goes towards cash for sure, which is around 418, I believe. And then AMV 458 pivot upside, level holds 551, 655, 685, unable to hold 372 to 299. I'm leaning bullish out the gate on this one, in my opinion, looking for a pop, and then we'll see what happens in that regard. Let's see what we got on the SPY and the FANG. All right, guys, market. So pivot to the upside today. I'm going to put this in the SPX ideas section because I think that's probably where it makes the most sense. The SPY, 383.89. Pivot to the upside today. In my opinion, this holds. Going higher into the 386.95. resistance breaks. We see the 389.10 tested. Pivot, unable to hold. And lower into the 380.56 support breaks. We see the 378.4 tested. Leaning bullish, neutral. In my opinion on that. So we'll see what happens with the market today. Should be an interesting one. I guess I can, yeah, I'll put it in the SPX and option section, whatever. That's good. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the thing here. Apple 125.90 pivot level holds 128.70, 130.17 will be tested. Unable to hold 124.15 to 123.03 will be tested on the downside. Overall on Apple, going to be leaning bullish neutral. Looking for a continuation push to the upside today, in my opinion, if that pivot point is able to hold. Let's take a look at Amazon. Pivot to the upside today. My opinion will be 87.08 level holds, 88.91, unable to hold 85.97 to 84.23. Leaning bullish neutral if pivot can be reclaimed today. If it can, obviously you're going to start to sell off. Netflix 299.87 pivot to the upside today level holds 306.28, 310.56, unable to hold 290.98, 286.78. Leaning bullish neutral in my opinion if that level can hold as well. A pivot that is. Meta, do like this name for continuation today. Needs to hold above last day's range break, but 124.87 pivot level holds. 130.84 next big resistance on the daily to the upside. In my opinion, unable to hold 121.70. Leaning bullish neutral there. Let's take a look at Google. Pivot to the upside today, in my opinion, 90.32. Levels able to hold. We're towards 91.66. Unable to hold 88.39 downside. Leaning bullish neutral there. VIX Qs IWM. VIX, my friends, what do we got? So VIX 22.53. Unable to hold 21.17. Able to hold 23.51 on the upside. Overall on the VIX. Not leaning any particular direction, but using for direction on the market. QQQs 266.84 pivot to the upside today, in my opinion. Level holds 270.81. Unable to hold 262.09 on the downside will be tested. Overall on the Qs, leaning bullish neutral, looking for continuation push to the upside today, in my opinion, if that pivot point can hold. IWM pivot to the upside today is going to be this. Oh, I didn't do IWM, I did SPX. That's right. I flipped it over, which I think is better. 383.36 level is the pivot upside today. Level holds 38.61, 38.87. Unable to hold 3800 to 37.64 on the downside. I'm leaning bullish neutral on the SPX, looking for a continuation push to the upside today. So guys, that's a SPY, that's the FANG. Those are the individual names that we're looking at today. If you guys want to come pop into chat and join us, you can certainly do so. Go to spartantrading.com. Sign up there. A couple new things this year, guys. We do have the SPX Ideas alert channel just for the SPX Ideas themselves. So brand new little channel there, as well as we have this long-term investment ideas server, which is for 6 to 12 months. Oh, you have all the mods participating. Some pretty hefty theses and macro and technical analysis in there for the long term. So looking for more of a passive thing, I think that's probably the best place to be. Anyways, guys, you can check that out on the website. Thanks for watching. Any questions?